What's up, guys? Welcome back to Storytime with Uncle Reddit. My name's John, and this is r/Tales from Tech Support.
Where am I?
Was going to upload this yesterday. Got busy with a bunch of other stuff around the house here, so I decided to take a break last night and do one today. Been busy today, too, but man, it's okay. Oh, yeah. Not sponsored. Not trying to kiss their butt. Movo wireless microphones. It's got one transmitter, two transmitters, one receiver. The receiver can hook to a camera, a smartphone. They make adapters to go from iPhone to Android. Mine came with a USB-C cord, so it goes right to the jack piece. Duh. Anyway, so it goes right to my Android. I got one a few days ago so that we could start recording for the other videos, because the Talking Head video that I did, if any of you popped over to the new channel to check it out, the audio was horrible. And so these I ordered because they had good reviews, and it's good in between. You know, instead of going out and buying the $300 set, I'm like, okay, let's try something else. I mean, these aren't cheap, but they're a good solid middle of the road. Audio quality and everything else, battery life. And the case charges. It's like a set of earbuds that, charges your earbuds. So it's pretty cool. And it also comes with two lavalier microphones that, you can run the wire up so you don't have to have this thing, big bulky thing hanging from your shirt collar or suspenders. Anyway, so like I said, not sponsored by them. I did a small test the other day to make sure the sound worked. The first set that I got, it didn't work at all. And I assumed that it was a transmitter crapping out because as soon as you plug it into your phone or whatever you're shooting your video with, it should light up, and it didn't. So I tested this one when it came yesterday, and so far it works like a treat. So when we get our next video up on the new channel, I might even try to do a story with them on this. We'll see, but I don't think they block the noise as well as this one does. I mean, right now I've got a fan running right here that you may or may not be able to hear. I do some noise reduction on this when I'm done, so we'll see. But yeah, just thought I'd share that. So far I'm enjoying the company. Their customer service is good. We'll see if the product holds up once I get using this new set. So, all right, let's do some tech support. Oh yeah, cat. If it's not in the drop-down, it's not going to change no matter where you are. We have a cloud-based business system. We have 2 locations in different towns. You log into the business system and you can switch locations with a drop-down on the home page. We currently have 4 options, and every user can see them, but not necessarily have permissions in. Business Consolidated, Business Town 1, Business Town 2, Business Original, historical data from before a recent takeover. We used to have a test location in the dropdown that didn't affect anything, but that was removed somewhere along the line, as I believe it was just a test environment for our business system provider to test some things with opening or closing a location. So our HR and office manager called me today. She's working with someone at Town 2 and wanted to do some training on the business system and do it in the test location, but obviously the test location no longer exists. So after she noted to me that the test location wasn't in the dropdown, she wanted to know if it was in the dropdown for us at Town 1. I don't think I was able to convey to her how that was impossible, but she accepted that it was not available as an option at Town 1. I can see where she would have been a little confused about that, thinking that maybe it was available at a different location, but once it's explained, it shouldn't be that hard to understand. If it doesn't exist, it doesn't exist. Period. Maybe. Who knows? People are hard-headed. They are who they are. Clueless in charge of telecoms. Bit of a rant. I've had my fill this week. I work for a small company. I came to this company under the promise of directorship as the company grows, but that looks like it'll never happen. I came here under the promise of doing things right, to build better relationships with clients, using good solutions to provide the best service, but what we seem to be doing is using cheap rubbish and endless covering up of mistakes, like shuffling cat litter around the litter box to hide the presents. Rather than emptying the litter box when it gets too full, the answer seems to be add more litter on top. Ugh. The story starts with a fiber connection. The client cancels their old fiber line, provided by an excellent line provider, under the recommendation of our divine leader, and hands in the 3-month cancellation order. We begin the provisioning process with our leader's favorite line provider, the most profitable one, and one of the worst I've ever encountered. They're awful. Those of us who joined the company were told we would not be using providers on the sole reason of they are cheap, but that got conveniently forgotten. It took 3 weeks after the router was deployed for the provider to liven it up. The last week was extremely painful. The line can't go live because the order doesn't show as complete on our ordering platform. That's internal to us. We'll sort this. 1 week later, the line can't go live because the order doesn't show as complete on our ordering platform. That's internal to us. We'll sort this. Cue lots of, you said this a week ago. You've done nothing. We've made no progress. Let me speak to the closest approximation to a competent person you have now. I was, of course, informed about this when I was sent to site to put in the Cisco router into service, so about 45 days into the process. First problem, the line has a single public IP. The line it's replacing has a pool of publics, and for good reason. The old line provider would have been able to make this change in hours. The new one requires weeks, new forms, and a new approval process. So Muggins here has to slowly rework a lot of internal infrastructure to get things to work over a single address. None of this had been run past me. Nobody thought to ask me when agreeing to provide this service or what to ask the client. An internet connection is an internet connection, right? I had the IT side all sorted, and the leader of the company says he'll sort the telephony. Oh dear God, famous last words. I don't do telephony. I'll make sure the switch ports have the right VLANs assigned. I'll make sure the firewall has the appropriate NAT or one-to-one NAT configured, but the rest is yours. And this is where the cacophony of foul-ups kicked in. The guy who looks after telephony is our glorious leader. He couldn't solve his way out of a skyscraper-sized paper bag with sun beaming through the exit, while he stood on a conveyor belt taking him to the exit. Giant neon signs with "exit this way, stand still" on the conveyor flashing away, while being shown the way by a team of eloquent, highly trained paper bag exit guides and being loaned a guide dog, all the while friendly public service announcements in several languages calmly reassure you to stay on the conveyor to reach the exit. Problem 1. Client can't download call reports from their internally hosted call recording system. Beloved leader, there's a call from client. They can't download call recordings from their portal. It must be down to the change of public IP. This isn't telecoms. This is networking. You need to fix whatever the problem is. Me, sighing deeply, this is entirely internal. The change of public address won't affect this. Beloved leader looks confused. This must be to do with the new line. Me, did you follow the troubleshooting guide I wrote the first time this issue got dumped on my plate, and that I referred you to the last time this happened? Beloved leader, the old line ceased on Monday and now this doesn't work. Looks obviously to be network related to me. Me, sitting down at his desk, I fire up the troubleshooting guide. Step 1. First we log into the web page for their call recording status. Oh look, red crosses where there should be green ticks. Call server unable to upload recording to recording server. Let's follow step 2 of the guide. Check recording server for disk space. Oh look, only 1 gigabyte free. Let's delete the oldest 6 months of recordings from 4 years ago. Ooh, green ticks now and call recordings are working properly and the client can download them. I marked the troubleshooting guide as a favorite in his web browser. I see that it gets the title of Call Recording Troubleshooting 3 in the bookmarks. Then came problem 2. Branch office can't make or receive calls. Oh dear God. Ticket comes in from a branch office in a different time zone. Their handsets are logged out and can't log back in. For some reason the client's asking me to fix it. I replied with, I have forwarded this to the telecom team as I am in the server and networking team. I overhear the next part of the process over the following day. I was engaged in engineering for another client on a time-sensitive project that actually involved servers and 365 when the ticket came in and still am the next day. Beloved leader uses his superhuman problem-solving skills. To my surprise, he gets one piece of the puzzle correct, but in this case we're talking about a 4-piece Peppa Pig jigsaw puzzle, not untying the Gordian knot. The phones they use are notoriously rubbish if you change their remote call server config and need to be factory defaulted so they can accept the change. He actually sends out the reset instructions and the video I made of how to program them to connect remotely to the call server. I made that video because of my superpower of reading a manual, as he could never remember how to do it. The client gets a step further. They can log in, but no calls inbound or outbound work. Let's see the beloved leader's problem solving in full swing. I can hear the gears of his mind crunching like someone doing 80 on the motorway trying to put the car into reverse. Remote office in another country. All worked fine last week. Change of public IP address for phone system is the only change in the environment. SIP-based phone system. Attempting to call their number doesn't even ring. He's got the crayons out. He's adding 1 + 1 + 1 and the answer is cabbages. Beloved leader, they're using the phone app. If they're using the phone app, that stops their desk phone from signing in. Go try that. Me, with my head in hands, knowing sooner or later this will come back around to me, and I'm going to have to upset a good client and duck out of their work. I've gone into sort of a malicious compliance mode. If I just jump in and help fix straight away, nobody else in the company will feel this pain and things will never change, and beloved leader will never come to the realization he needs to plan things properly and get a team member who actually knows their way around a phone system. Cruel to be kind time. The poor tech who was assigned to try that was never going to win. After a protracted period of, you must be getting the app config wrong. Me, draw a picture of how a call works. Beloved leader. Huh? Me. How does a call work? You pick up the phone, your phone talks to a call server. You dial a number. Call server connects out to the number. SIP provider for that number connects to the hosting phone system. Hosting phone system rings handset. Where do you think this process is falling down? Beloved leader. Huh? Me. If the calls aren't even ringing, it means the SIP trunks for that number are not connected. Beloved leader again. Me. Did you update the SIP trunks for the branch office with the supplier so they're pointed to the right address? Beloved leader. Yes. Goes into his office and starts making calls to the SIP provider. A couple hours later, the SIP provider has confirmed that the changes have been made. Beloved leader. Right, it's all fixed now. Close the case. Me. Head goes further into hands. I'm not going to tell him to test this. That should be second nature. I'll let him put his name to the ticket saying it's all working. Client comes back, not happy. No, it's not working. The phones at least ring now, but no voice, and they can't dial out. Beloved leader's phenomenal intellect goes back into the drawing board. He starts blurting things. It's their firewall in the branch office. Nope, they don't have one. It's a shared workspace environment. There's nothing we can change, and it all worked last week. Try the app. I'll bet the app works. By now, I've reminded him and the team that they can log in as the client with the phones and apps we have in our office instead of calling their mobiles and asking and waiting for them to get back. The app didn't work. Same result as the desk phones. We need to send them new handsets. It must be because they factory defaulted the handsets. To be fair, there is some configuration like firmware that can only be updated by connecting them on the same LAN as the call server and running some SSH commands on the handsets, but the next leap of logic is great. When they defaulted them, it must have rolled back the firmware to the older one. Oh my dear sweet summer child, I think you don't understand what firmware means. It's just a word you heard once in a relation to a solution and think you have a general grasp of its use. Me, erasing config, will not roll back firmware. I repeat this several times until these words take root in the arid desert of his mind. Beloved leader. So what else can it be? Me, did you check the config of the SIP trunk on the phone system? Beloved leader. Brain divides by 0. His face looks like Joey Tribbiani when he tried to divide a big number by 13. Beloved leader. There's nothing that needs changing on there. I reach out to a friend who does work in telecoms with a couple of WhatsApp messages, and lo and behold, in the trunks, the SIP trunk for the branch office is expecting to receive packets on the old public IP and add a tag with the old public IP. I reached out because at this point the client is fuming, bordering on taking their business elsewhere, which would damage the company, and I could do with the income while I hunt for a new job. And when we have the shouty calls from the clients, at least I'm the one who found the fixes. The level leader looks at the obnoxious glaring error in the phone system config that I fix. Hey, presto, calls for the branch office are working again. Yeah, I've had bosses and supervisors like that before, you know. You tell them, okay, boss, the company truck won't start. Now, I tried to do my own troubleshooting. Was it the battery? Nope. Does it crank over? Yes. And I'd go through step by step like that, just sort of trying to figure out, okay, where are we dropping here? Is there actually fuel in the fuel tank? Yes or no? He would come up with some weird off-the-wall idea like, well, did you check the blinker fluid? You know, we all know that doesn't exist, and this guy knew nothing about cars, less than I did. And, you know, basically, he had one guy that would work on our vehicles the best he could until such time as we needed to take them to a real garage. The guy did a pretty decent job of keeping maintenance up, but, you know, either call that guy or call the shop and have it towed over there or have them come over here to fix it. I don't care, but I got to go to work. It just doesn't matter. Just keep bouncing wrong idea after wrong idea after wrong idea off the wall, and nothing ever sticks. Why can't you fix the cell reception in the building? So this happened today. I'll refer to HR Director as HRD. I received a phone call this morning from HRD. Hello, can you fix the cell reception in the building? No one in HR is able to take or receive calls. Me. Unfortunately, there's nothing IT can do with cell reception in the building, as the towers and infrastructure are not ours and belong to an outside entity. HRD. Are you sure you can't do anything? It's just we're not able to take calls on our personal devices, and it's a security risk. Me. Again, there's nothing I can do. This building is mostly made of metal, and we have several rooms within rooms within rooms, and a labyrinth of hallways. I would suggest you contact your cell phone carrier and let them know. HRD. But it's several different carriers that don't have reception in our building. Can you contact them? Me. No, unfortunately, I can't contact the cell carriers on your behalf. This is out of the scope of IT. HRD. Well, I feel like this is something IT can fix, so is there someone in your department I can contact? Me. I suppose you can email the director of IT, knowing full well they will be told the same thing I just told them, and ask them. There were a few long pauses of me not saying anything because I didn't know how to respond. I have to deal with this person daily, and it's such a struggle. This person has absolutely no common sense whatsoever, which is probably why they have that job title. Edit. I forgot to add that they were telling me this from their office on their personal cell phone. All of a sudden, I'm like 2 minutes from finishing a video, and the dog goes out of her mind because she wants to be fed, one of 3. She's the loudest one of the 3. And the cat decided he wanted to be in here. Now he wants out, then he wants in, then he wants out. Yeah, just losing my mind. Anyway, so they were on their personal cell phone, which was a security risk, talking to you, but they couldn't get cell phone reception. I don't understand. Anyway, somebody's definitely way off on that one. Let me speak to your manager. All right, guys, thanks for sharing a little bit of your day with me today. Hopefully you enjoyed these stories. And if you did, would you do me a favor? If you're on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. Let us know what you like, dislike. What are your thoughts on the stories? Where did I goof up at? And if you're on any one of the myriad of podcast formats that we're found on, leave a review if they leave you that option. And let us know how we're doing. All right. Till next time. See ya.